I'm Pat Wright. I'm representing legalizeferrets.org. We are pointing the Commission to the policy statement of introduction of non-native species. Proposals to introduce exotic species shall be submitted to the Commission for approval. The Department will review.
This issue's been before this Commission since I've been on it in the 10 years, at least 4 other times. And when we do take the trouble and time to agendize it, we always have enough testimony on the other side of the issue to convince us that keep the status quo. If it's going to be illegal, it needs to be illegal, and those folks are breaking the law and need to be punished for it.
Okay.
I'll give them 5 minutes.
5 minutes?
5 minutes, alrighty, thank you. We've been waiting at the mailbox patiently. We spent $13,000 in a year of research at Sacramento State University for an unbiased preliminary EIR report. Our CEQA consultant also did the CEQA environmental checklist. We have yet to hear back. So I want to make sure, am I making this request right? Do you understand the request that we're asking you to do?
You know what? I'm going to respond. I'm going to tell you again. We are charged with the protection and preservation of our natural resources and species. And that's what we're going to do. And we don't feel that, even though you have a right to your opinion, that you're right on this issue. We feel like we are.
That's not my question right now. Am I making the request in the correct manner? I'm putting a formal request. You haven't negotiated or investigated ferrets at all. I'm asking you to do so. Am I doing it correctly?
We have in the past, and there was a good enough investigation to satisfy our position.
Okay, the last request was April 6, 2000. The commissioners requested a preliminary EIR that they would not move forward unless the proponents funded the EIR. We have done so at great expense and at great time. My mother used to tell me, you can't fight City Hall. And I hope what she meant is don't expect it to be an easy job, because it hasn't been. The last time ferrets was on the Fish and Game Commission agenda, 2 items back to back, the February 3rd and 4th agenda 2000, followed by the... So my question is, why won't you take this seriously?
Fair discussion's been held a minimum of 12 times by this commission over the years.
Okay, where is that?
As well as in executive session, so.
Can you kindly point out where?
You got a copy of the request, you can learn to read it, and you'll see that we have discussed ferrets a minimum of 12 times.
Now it's a dozen times. It used to be 4 and 5. He hasn't seen the issue, in open session, since he's been on the commission. I don't understand.
They don't agree that ferrets should be legalized.
They're legal in 48 states. Why is California so different?
That is not a subject they're prepared to engage you on.
Good morning. First off, has the preliminary import pact been reviewed by anybody on the commission? And second of all, if it has been reviewed, when can we expect the commission to review to get the formal EIR? Anybody?
You got 3 minutes, continue the testimony.
Those are pretty much the questions I needed to answer within my 3 minutes. Is there anybody available just to answer the question?
It has not been reviewed yet.
Okay. Is there a time limit usually allotted for reviewing of a document such as this?
No, there's no timing. It's just as soon as we can get staff that have the expertise to review it and look at it, and then what we'll do is review it and probably provide the submitter comments on the document.
My name is Jeremy Trim. I live here in Sacramento. I represent Legalized Ferrets. We, numerous months ago, turned in a preliminary environmental impact report at your request. Since then, we have received no response. So we'd just like to know what's going on.
Thank you.
Can I get an answer? It was a pretty simple question. How do we go forward? No answer. You're going to sit there and look at me. All right.
Christine
Good for you.
Newman, Eric Mills, Paul Week.
Thank you for giving me a few minutes. My name is Michelle Coach. I'm representing Ferrets Anonymous. Pat Wright has submitted the environmental impact report. Ferrets Anonymous has offered to pay for the staff time and to have ferret owners pay license fees to help cover potential increased cost of fish and game. And that being said, I'm wondering if there's anything else that we can do to help facilitate moving this to going to notice.
Thank you, Michelle. We addressed this issue after an extensive public comment.
So what's going on?
Thank you.
Can I get an answer?
So I'm afraid for now, we are unable to move forward with, and we don't intend to move forward with the rulemaking package on this issue.